Hello there, guys, and welcome to episode 7 of Project Demeter. Just checking my audio is working, we're all good. So today, we're sort of coming to the conclusion of my little mini series within the series on changing seasons. So today, for any of you guys out there, by the way, if you want to a more in-depth look at this, I'll be happy to do a live. We'll have a chat up and we'll talk about this and how I implemented this, because I know it was a struggle for me to do. Not a struggle, actually. I would say it was. I really enjoyed the challenge. I enjoyed learning, like problem solving. Like, I had a problem and I wanted to fix it. I couldn't find anything online, or barely, and I kind of just had to work it out myself. But yeah, so I really enjoyed it, and I hope this has been helpful to you guys, because obviously, not only do I want to help myself and make this game, but I also want to help anyone who's out there building their own game, especially solo devs. Like, I got big respect for anyone out there making games by themselves, and even in a small team. Like, you guys, like, hard workers. If you're anything like me, you put I don't even know, 60 hours a week at least just in this, let alone my job that pays me. So, anyway, shout out to you guys. But yeah, let's do it. Let's get into it. So, what we're going to do today is I'm going to show you a couple of scripts. So we've got a seasonal prefab and a season manager, which I've talked a little bit in previous videos about, but we're gonna take a look and see what that does. So let's take, for example, so anything that we have prefab wise. Should I show you? I'm going to show you first. Let's do it. I'll grab my keyboard, just so we can wander around. So there are a couple of glitches. But they're not an issue. I wonder if this is going to have audio. No, she won't hear the audio. But anyway, so so it's going to have a couple of glitches. These glitches, I know why they're happening. It's because I need to unregister the tile maps and then re-register them, and this happens when I leave the scene. And when I advance the day as well, although basically I have to be out of the scene for it to update. So what we're gonna do, I've also added day and night, so it's gonna get a little dark. In fact, let's make this big so you guys can see what I'm doing, rather than this tiny little screen. So might get a little bit dark. One thing I'd like to point out as well, these shadows got really dark, and that's not intentional. So if we go out of the scene and then we come back in the scene, ta-da, and they're light again. It's just because, basically, when I'm advancing the day, like I do, so you'll watch on the screen. I don't know why I pointed it to it like you'd see it, but when I advance the day, that's when these glitches occur, and that also that affects the lighting, that affects everything. Obviously, the player's not going to be able to advance the day like this, so it's not an issue. It's just a testing glitch. And if that's not a term, then I coined the term. But yeah, so here we are in summer. You'll notice all the prefabs have changed. But what hasn't happened, or rather what has happened, is that the tile palette has gone wild, because it takes an array of sprites and then changes the array based on the new information that's given, but because it is just a list, it's a like-for-like list of each season. What it does is, instead of putting it in the right order, it just, like, from 0 to however many sprites, it just paints them on like that. So that's why you've got this diagonal line. But anyway, we'll leave the scene and come back. Ta-da! Absolutely fine. Absolutely fine. So what we've got with the prefabs, which is what I want to talk to you specifically about, because I've covered the tile palette, is these prefabs. So we've got a tree, 3 different kinds of trees actually. Move stone, all this grass. Let's get rid of the grass. Ignore the player animations at the moment. I'm in the process of fixing them all. I've got some of them, like the hoe. The hoe is right, but the scythe is not right. But yeah, let's do it. So we've got a tree. When I chop the tree, you'll notice that. Why do I keep pointing? God, I'm not used to this recording stuff, guys. I'm getting used to it. But when you hit the tree, so you've got these. Point with the mouse. That's a better idea. You're an idiot. Sorry. When I hit the tree, you'll notice that the leaves are green, which is nice. Green leaves are nice, what you want. So the effect has changed. Also, I don't know if you can see the split, but the trees, the big trees, are split into a base sprite for the trunk, top sprite, which is made translucent. I said invisible in my last video. It's definitely not invisible. You can still see it. It's translucent, so you can see through it. But yeah. And when we chop it down and it produces a new sprite, a new crop rather, the new crop, which is the tree trunk, is its own separate crop, is also a season on prefab, so it will take this season information and then it will put the sprite in based on that season. But yeah, I mean that's pretty much it. And we got the different types of trees. One thing I do want to show you is, and I think I've shown in a previous video, we're just going to advance the time quick to autumn. I don't know why this is taking so long. I think recording eats up my processing power. And I just realised you can probably hear the audio through the mic, not directly through the screen. But yeah, anyway, so autumn, and now when we hit a tree, leaves are orange and not green. And the same is true for winter and spring. They all have their own effects, and they all have their own trunk and sprite and top. But yeah, so I promised you we're gonna have a deeper dive today. I've got a little bit of time before I go to work, so we're gonna talk about this. So I'll cover the two scripts in a minute, but what I want to talk about is the seasonal prefab itself and what it looks like in Unity. So crop script is another thing. In fact, let's open up a prefab. Cool. Let's take the winter tree. It's currently got the winter sprite. This makes no impact. Like whatever. I mean, some of these are autumn, some of these are winter. I put them all in initially as spring, but as you play, they change. But as soon as you load up the game, they load to the right thing. So it's not an issue. So we've got on the seasonal prefab down here. We've got a spring sprite. And we've got a spring trunk sprite and a spring shadow sprite. So the way this is set up is that even if I have a prefab, like let's say I have a rock, so I've got rocks that change with the seasons, like they've got different sprites for each season. Obviously they're not going to have a trunk and a top, so I can actually use any one of these to change the sprite. But you don't have to use all of them. So the way that I've done this, and I can show you on the trunk one, is that even if they're none, even if they're null, it doesn't matter. It's not gonna break it. So you don't have to use all of these. Like if it doesn't have a shadow, you don't have to use that, which is really good actually. It's really flexible. I'm quite proud of myself for this. I know it's going to be helpful to anyone who's in this situation. The only thing you do have to have plugged in. So you have to have them in there is the top, the trunk, and the shadow sprite renderer. So you have to have these 3 game objects, even if they're none. You have to have that plugged in, just so it knows what it's getting. I probably could make that null as well, but like I'm happy with it. I don't mind making empty game objects just to satisfy the criteria. But yeah, so let's take a look at this one. In fact, let's do a more interesting one. Let's go to, I like the chestnut tree. Actually, the maple is pretty. Okay, so let's do the big one. Obviously, it's in the winter sprite right now. So if we go to the spring sprite, obviously we've got the top here. So the big trees are separated into top and bottom. And then the smaller trees, as they're like growing up and they're not fully grown, they'll only have a top sprite rather than a trunk sprite. But yeah, so we've got spring, summer, autumn, sorry, or fall, winter, and then trunk. They've actually got their own trunks for each season that change slightly in color to match the trees. And then there's even shadows. So we've got shadows. Obviously, spring, summer, and autumn. I'm gonna have it. I'm gonna expand on this later so that to add weather effects. This will be down the line. I don't need to do it now. When I finally get around to doing weather effects, I'll have like certain days, or like there'll be like a certain day that happens, and if that day happens for autumn, for example, their trees lose their leaves, and when that happens, they don't get their leaves back. Makes sense. So I'm going to expand this because I've got different colored sprites. So here's the autumn one I was telling you about. So it go from this to this, and they'd lose their leaves, and then maybe I can have some leaves scattered on the ground or something. That'd be nice. But yeah, so sprites for each season. So top, trunk, and shadow, and then the sprite renderers. So if we look inside this. This is really, really, really simple class. This is literally just switching sprites. That's all it's doing. So we've got all our variables, the sprite renderers. So it will log an error if the sprite renderers are null. Again, I could probably change that if I wanted to. I'm not fussed about the setup. I'm actually really happy with it. It's not an issue. It just takes some plugging in, making empty game objects and stuff. These activate seasonal effects are pointless now. I added another method dealing with that, but that's gone now. This took a lot of tweaking. Like this didn't just pop into existence. This was a lot of work. I actually think the tile maps were easier than the prefabs, and I thought it was going to be the other way around. But yeah, so literally just a switch statement, switch function. No, don't delete. Switch case. Yeah, sure. For each of the seasons, obviously I could have a none case or a default case, but it's not. It's always going to be a season because these seasons just rotate, and all that does is that just changes the sprite to the sprite. Easy. And then the season manager, this is where we handle the tiles and the prefab changes. And maybe I could extract the tile map stuff from this and have it in its own separate class like the seasonal prefabs. But for now, it's okay. It's like I said, this is ongoing. I'm gonna be making this game for I don't even know. I'm aiming to release next year. Maybe spring or summer, that'd be nice. But yeah, so I mean, we'll see. But yeah, so I say but yeah so often. I'm so sorry, guys. It must be so annoying to listen to. Every time I'm editing my video, the amount of but yeahs and ums that I edit out of the text. For subtitles it's just incredible, and it takes me like half an hour just to edit all of those out, and I'm like, what am I doing? I really need to learn to talk better. See, anyway, that's not why we're here. So it's because I'm nervous, that's all it is. So we have a scriptable SO sprite. So this class, let's go to this in here. So this is just an array of seasonal sprites. Ta-da! Nice and easy. And that's what makes this list. So go back. That's what makes this list. And it's just now dawned on me that that's not what makes this list. I don't know if I'm using that anymore. Because if I don't think I'm using that anymore. I'm going to play with that later, but I'm pretty sure I don't use that. Because I use this one. the list of the seasonal prefabs because I was going to do it as a scriptable object. Interesting. Obviously, this class is part of my ISaveable, so when I save the game and we load back into the game, it's going to save all the seasonal data, so all the prefabs, all the tile maps are all going to be loaded based on the season, which is exactly what you want. Get current season, nice and easy. If we just look at this quick, navigate. Go to implementation. Public season, get current season. See, I did this. So I was going to tweak this. I added a method to my time manager that basically did this. So it returns current season. I'm going to clean this code up later, for sure. I got it working, and I've been so busy doing other things. Like I've got grass that grows now. I've got lights. I've been working on player animations. What else did I do? Oh, crops that die as well. That I can't wait to show you guys. That's going to be coming up soon, but I wanted to finish this. Obviously, I'm way ahead in the game of where I am recording. It's just like trying to get round to actually recording these things. Obviously, like this YouTube channel, this devlog series, I'm not doing it for the sake of, itself. I'm doing it as a way of documenting my progress on the game. But sometimes I make a lot of progress and I forget to record it, so apologies. But I mean, it means I've got loads of content to cover, so there's plenty of stuff for you guys to see, and I'm going to be showing you all. I just pressed a button. Where did I press that button? Let's just undo whatever the hell I just did. Cool. Anyway, right, back to the script. Sorry about all these sidetracks, by the way. Sometimes I just think my brain just ping, 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 ping. It's nerves. But yeah, so in the start method, what we do, so when you start the game, it updates all the seasonal tiles and all the prefabs. So obviously when we start the game, it just updates them all to be spring, because that's the first season. And in fact, what I might do, just to show you as part of the ISaveable, just to show you the load system. Well, I remember when I first started coding and the first time I came across ISaveable, the ISaveable interface, it was very scary. Like, I had no idea how it worked, and I've really wrapped my head around it. Like, this stuff really does takes time to learn, but once you do, just keep at it, guys. But yeah, so when I load, I can't actually remember what season my last load was in. Summer, and dead crops. Wait, have I still got them as wood? Oh, I thought I saved that. Ta-da! Anyway, that's a bit of foreshadowing for you guys. But yeah, saved when we loaded, summer, and summer tile palette, summer prefabs. Just like that, which is fantastic. But yeah, so when on start, that happens, loads up spring. On enable, we subscribe to the advanced game season event, which is in my event handler, and we register and deregister. ISaveable register and deregister. I'll show you that in a bit. Let's go to this on advanced game season. So when the game season advances, we basically do the same thing. This is why I'm not entirely sure why. So it happens and it works when we start the game, but for some reason, when we advance the game season, it doesn't. And I think it's got something to do with the fact that I'm forcing the day. I feel like if I just let the day play, it would load fine, but I would have to wait a very long time to test that if I don't advance the day. So you can see why I don't bother. Can you imagine just waiting there for a whole game month to progress, to see if it works, and then it doesn't? Can you imagine? Oh, I'd be so annoyed. But yeah, so this is the method that registers all the tile maps in the scene, and then we've got to register each tile map. Unregistered tile maps. I mean, for anyone who's learning, you'll make a lot more. Not learning, for anyone who knows C#, you'll make a lot more. Or you'll get a lot more out of this than I will. I understand it, and the thing is, I look at lines of code and I understand what they do to a certain degree. I'm really struggling to write code. So for anyone who's been following and actually watches my videos, you'll know that I use ChatGPT to help me write code. So it might not be the most coherent code, but I can get ChatGPT to write me code, and then I will edit the code. I can do that. It's just a big task to actually write from scratch. And anyone who actually writes code and has a job in the industry, you're gonna hate me for saying that. And you might think it's lazy, but it's really helped me understand, you know. And I mean, I am getting to the point where writing code isn't scary anymore. And I do write basic scripts, like smaller scripts, like let's say a light flicker or something like that, or an item pickup. I can write those scripts. It's just more like a season manager. It's just such a big undertaking. And I know it's just breaking it down into little pieces. That's what a method basically is. You have a method or function that literally does a specific task. And I understand that. It's just sometimes the syntax and just learning what I want to write. This we don't need anymore. But yeah, so we got the update seasonal tiles. So this is where we do this. What I really want to show you though is the prefabs. So we're basically doing the same thing. And so we register the prefabs. Where are you? Sorry for the silence. Let's find references to this. Gonna have the little load animation. Interesting. See this, and that's the overloaded method. Update season. Find references. Oh, that's just the get currency. That's just that. I see. See, this is where we're doing it. Right. There you go. So prefab. Yeah. There we go. So in the update season. So where do I register this? I'm gonna have to look at that. Maybe I don't. Maybe that's why the tile map gets messed up. Update seasonal prefabs. Find references. Because you register the tile maps. Sorry, this is me going through it. I actually haven't looked at this in a little bit, so coming back to it and just getting familiar again. But anyway, so in the update seasonal prefab method, it's called in the advanced season method. So which happens when in the event handler the season changes, so it changes the season, and then this tells the prefab which to change based on, so for each change, update season, and then where are you getting called? Find references, season manager, get current season. So it happens in start. We're testing now, apparently. That's 24 minutes. Jesus Christ. I didn't realize this video was so long. Okay, right. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm gonna have to cut this to pieces. Right, load. Let's not keep these people waiting. I might as well just not talk and then just scroll through the code and just let you guys figure it out, because you'll do better than just listening to me ramble on. I think that's what this devlog series is all about. It's not even like it's giving you guys the code and just listening to me ramble. One thing I just want to check, because I've just changed this, and I wonder if we get to summer, will it now change the tile palette? It's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. I've been trying to fix this for weeks. Oh, and that didn't even change to summer. No, we don't want that. No, go back. Wait. Back. Bad. Okay, yeah. No, that didn't work. We don't like that. No. Cool. Anyway, update seasonal tiles. Sprites. Calculate. We've done. Still unclear. Refresh the prefabs. But I don't know where that's called for each seasonal prefab. Fair enough. It works. And you guys will understand it more. And then you got all the ISaveables. That is where it is. What I really wanted to show you, not using this, need to get rid of that, was this. Because this is the basis of, like, if you look at that season manager, it's actually not too long of a script, considering it, like, it's 283 lines and 60 of those are the ISaveable, So it's a really short script. It's going to include weather effects and stuff like that later. I'm going to get around to it. But this is the meat and veg. This is the bulk. And it was really easy to use. And now I can just take an item in my game. So let's say, I know, like I said earlier, I've got a rock that I want to change. So if we go to prefabs, I've been meaning to change these stones for a while, actually. It's an item. Might be in crops, actually. Yeah. So we've got crop 1 stone. This is from the course artwork. Hate it. Really want to change it. So if I wanted to, actually, I could do this. Just going to show you how it works. So seasonal prefab, and we're going to take a crop sprite, the initial one, and we'll go to art, smithing gear, blacksmithing. Hopefully I've chopped these all up. Seasonal forest. I've chopped the spring one up, so that's nice. So we can change that. And I mean, I can blitz through this bit. I'll just speed her up, so you can see what I'm doing. Grid by size. 16 by 16. Slice, apply, and we'll do the same. Slice, apply, and last one. Obviously, like, this is just for aesthetic. I don't actually need to do this for the seasons. I could just have a stone be a stone, but I love this artwork so much. I really want to do it justice. So we'll take a crop 1 stone, and we'll go to the crop sprite just to get this. Obviously that's the autumn one. I'm an idiot. So we'll put that in the autumn, and we'll put it in the sprite. Close that. Spring sprite. Summer sprite. Obviously these don't have shadows. And winter. We're gonna, like I said, we're gonna need to. Let's have. I think they're on this level. Let's try on this. I don't want all this. Then they've got the sprite renderer. We can just change this to none. I just want to show you in action, really, and see what you guys thought of how easy it is to implement. Obviously, the stone looks quite different now to the other one, and there's a couple more changes I just need to make. So in the crop list and the item list, let's pull up. Actually, I'll go here, and we need to find our stone one seed node. Sorry. Yeah. And then we're going to go to seasonal forest. We'll change it so everything's set to the spring one. Everything is set to the spring one. And then the codes, the seasonal prefab script changes everything. And then the last change is in the crop details list. I think we just need to find stone one seed or node, and then the growth prefab, it takes that, which looks like that. That's good. And the growth sprite, that is what we need to change. So seasonal forest, spring, that, and then that should be it. And then change the stone sprite itself. I think I've got some icons, but we'll do that later. Could change it to that later. Let's just see if this works. And then you can see how easy it is. I can't believe I've been talking for half an hour. This is crazy. By far the longest video I've done. I'm really sorry for all of the rambling. I'll try and cut out all the unessential information, but let's be honest, I'm not gonna do that. Right, in the game. Shadow. Oh, because I didn't assign them. Oh, I'm such an idiot. Sorry, guys. Prefab crop. At least I know what was wrong. That's something. So we've got a crop sprite, which is going to be the sprite renderer. I'm not even going to bother renaming them. Obviously, I'll rename them off camera. I know what they're doing. This is actually way more familiar than what I've been doing. I've been doing a lot of cataloging recently, rather than the actual code, because I've already done the code now. I've just been cataloging items and just updating everything. So it should work fine now. And it does. And if you'll notice here, let's make it big. We've got a new stone. Obviously, I'm going to need to change the collider. And the pivot point. What an idiot. Anyway, it's fine. That's what you get for rushing it. Smashing. Easy. But yeah, again, sorry for rambling, guys. I know, voice, I hear it all the time, unfortunately. You just have to click on the video. Thank you for listening. I hope this helps. I really do. And if you want to see more, if you want me to slow down, stop talking, actually show you the code, maybe just put a backing track, just put some music on it, I'll do that. As long as I get the information to you guys and it makes you happy. At the end of the day, the only reason I'm doing this, two reasons actually. One is so I can help anyone who's in a similar situation, and two, I don't know why. Yeah, I just want to help you guys. And obviously at the end of the day, I want people to play my game. I can't wait. This is a way for me to kind of build up a following. I'm very excited to push this game forward and actually make it. I've actually made 2 games, not fully made, but they're basically there. I've got 2 prototypes that are pretty fleshed out. One is an endless runner. If you've seen before, the endless runner was called, I can't remember. Oh, that was a while ago. I've got it somewhere. And the endless runner, and then I've got the platformer called Persephone. But I just never finished them. One, because I'm really scared of publishing a game, because it seems very scary. I'm worried about what you guys will think. And I just don't think they'll do very well, so I never released them. And so this is the first game that I'm actually planning on releasing, because I want to. I want to make it. I want to make a game and actually be a fully fledged solo game developer. I do actually have a guy that's kind of helping me, so I'm not strict. I mean, I bought the assets for this, and you can judge me all you want for that, but don't tell me this doesn't look good. I think it looks amazing, and it's way better than I would be able to achieve. And if I had the money, I would absolutely hire an artist, but I don't. But yeah, I do have a guy that's kind of helping. He does little bits for me. Nothing on this game. He's done a couple of bits for me in other games. But yeah, I hope you liked the video, and it's been a pleasure, and I will see you in the next one. Thank you so much, guys. Have a good day.